Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Slime Boss here, and welcome back to the Fairy Fountain Podcast. I am joined by my usual co-host, Hylian Hero, and today, it is the final episode of this year.
Final episode.
So, this will probably be posted after our December episode, but we're recording the December episode after this one. But, whatever. YouTube timeline shenanigans. Anyway, I'm kind of shaky here. So today we're gonna be talking about everything that happened in 2021, our little year-end synopsis type deal, and we're gonna compare it to our predictions. And predictions were something, that's for sure. So how do you want to do this? Do you want to just say our predictions and then go with the?
Let's talk about the general appeal of this year, because when we first started this show back in January, I was very convinced that this 2021 was going to be as good as 2017.
Ooh.
You were a lot more apprehensive on that, and I think it landed somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
It was a strong year.
It was very strong, yeah. Compared to 2019 even, this was definitely a contender. It's not as good as 2020 or 2017, but obviously we needed some kind of clapback after last year, or after 2020.
I'd still say 2019 was just a little bit better, but 2021 was very strong overall.
Yeah. Just the surprises that came with it, and I think 2021 was more of a setup for 2022, so
it feels like that.
It's like propping it up.
Yeah. But the first thing we really got into in 2021 was wondering if Nintendo Directs were going to come back.
Yeah, that was the biggest scare. And
it really was.
It was because we didn't really know how the pandemic was going to go. Nowadays in my daily life, it's not like it's an issue anymore, but obviously sometimes we need to wear masks. I'm boosted, so but we didn't really know how that was going to go in the gaming space, and it seems like it's relatively normal now, as normal can be. So we got a full force Nintendo Directs back. We didn't get any partner showcases back, which to you was surprising.
I really thought they were going to be back. I thought they were going to be. Until we got that February Direct. After that, I kind of forgot about partner showcases. It kind of felt like we were right back on track. I don't miss them.
My question is, with partner showcases, is what were they? What does Nintendo consider partners, and what does Nintendo consider indie? Because sometimes they overlap a little bit, and sometimes you get indies in the Nintendo Directs. And what I assume was the partner showcases was everybody but Nintendo that had games to show that would usually be in a Nintendo Direct.
In hindsight, I think partner showcases strictly were brand deals. They made contracts, they had just marketing rights to show off these games, and when COVID hit, they couldn't do Nintendo Directs last year. They had to do something to get these games out.
Yeah.
So I think that's exactly why they had them.
Yeah. So there's literally, I don't know why you thought they would come back this year. I guess it was just more of the unknown, because of the pandemic in the early parts of the year, but yeah, I don't know. I guess it makes sense for them not to be back.
No, I thought we were going to have smaller Nintendo Directs than what we actually got, and it would just be more consistent ones, like indie, Pokemon, partner showcases than Nintendo Directs. We'd have all four of those going on. They'd all be smaller than one big Direct, but I am so happy I was wrong. Yeah.
Oh, and then what is interesting, and I was confused last year. I was like, why are they calling it Pokemon Presents? Pokemon Directs it's their thing, but it kind of sounds like they're trying to step away from Nintendo a little bit for some reason, which is very odd, and I don't know what that means. It probably means nothing, but it's still odd that because they're not even on the list of Nintendo Directs anymore. They're you can't even find an archive on them on the Pokemon site either. So it's just they're not even Nintendo anymore, or they're not Nintendo branded anymore in terms of the actual name of the showcase.
I think it's just as simple as Pokemon wants to do their own thing, just marketing wise. They want to have control over their releases, and simple as that. They don't want to have to wait on Nintendo's timeline.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
But overall, it was a it was a phenomenal year. I really wish Steve was released this year and not last year, because that would have made it like a perfect year for me. But literally all we had last year was like Paper Mario and Steve, or at least for me. So
It was a very good year. I think some things could have been different. Quality on a couple games could have been better.
okay,
The releases we got was very strong.
I was gonna talk about this. So it seems to be in like the last couple of years, I don't know what's going on with the gaming industry. It might be COVID, it might be some underlying problem that's going on, but it seems like quality of games have been dropping. Like, we can tell that these are great, phenomenal games. Here's a perfect example. Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach. This is one of probably the better Five Nights at Freddy's games. It's not scary whatsoever, but it is a nice change of pace for the franchise. I'm not a huge Five Nights at Freddy's fan, but I love the VR game. The VR game was great, and Steel Wolf Studios did a great job with that. But it just, for some reason, they're just like, let's just release it. Like, whatever. Right. And I think what most of that has to do with Scott leaving, because he was basically forced into retirement due to everyone being like, oh no, he donated money to the Trump campaign. Ooh, scary. So, again, no like shame on any of these developers, but it just seems like they're just pushing out games for no reason, and this has been happening a lot lately. Like Pokemon, well, yeah, even Sun and Moon was fairly polished. It wasn't like the best game, but it was still fairly polished. Sword and Shield started dipping after Sword and Shield quality started dipping. There seems to be a lot more bugs, and like it seems like there's not a lot of care anymore. Like even N64 Online, like really, it's an emulator. By hitting a tree, you shouldn't be able to crash the entire thing, you know?
Exactly.
And there's even a bunch of stuff in Skyward Sword HD that I've heard about, and like, how does this happen? I don't understand.
I think that like now that Twitter is so incorporated into our daily lives, it's so much easier to see little bugs like that get blown up. Like, I do think Skyward Sword needed a little bit more polish. It was good. But I think it's just, right now, it's Pokemon in the Switch era is just either getting lazy or riding too high on the money, and Nintendo has this mentality of release a game that's half finished, finish it later with free updates, makes them look good, they think. I mean, Mario Golf, Mario Tennis, the Splatoon games.
But at least Mario Golf was like sort of finished. It was like a full game, not very many bugs. It was a decent golf game, and then I guess they just didn't have all the content that they wanted in it, and they just released it later.
I think they handled golf better than tennis, because I don't remember tennis like getting any new courts or anything. I think it was really just characters.
Yeah, it was characters, and I think maybe some small modes, I think.
Mario Golf, in the last half a year, they added like, I think, 5 to 7 new golf courses, which pretty much doubled what was in the base game.
And hopefully they do the same with Mario Party, because that, they didn't really do anything with Super, so...
Yeah.
All right, so do you want to do predictions first or the year recap first?
Let's do the year recap.
Okay. All right, so January. Let me scroll up here. We had only two, unless you have something else you want to point out. I only found the two that are most enticing. FNAF Collection, which is a point I want to bring up, is first of all, there's all the FNAF games on Switch. I've kind of been on a little bit of a FNAF craze lately, so sorry.
Nice.
But what's weird is that there are a lot of ports that came out this year that kind of flew under the radar that no one knew about. One of these is FNAF. I didn't know it was on Switch at all. And there's, all these games, I'm like, are you sure they can run on Switch? And are you sure they're not stream games or cloud service games? And they're not. And I'm like, I don't know what's going on. There's a lot of them this year. I didn't write them all down, but this is the reason. I mean, obviously FNAF can run on Switch. Okay. But point is that there was a lot of ports that came out that kind of just flew under the radar. And I was like, when I was doing research for this video, I was like, interesting. So.
Right.
The next game that came out was Scott Pilgrim. Did you get to try this game?
I wanted to, but my backlog is like 15 miles long at this point, and every year I have less and less time to game, so I did not have time.
I'm not really a beat-em-up type of guy, but I did like the movie. I guess that was great. I don't know. But it seemed like this was kind of really popular on Twitter for a little while. Just like art style and just, I don't know, it was quite interesting to see.
It was just the hype of it coming back after all these years.
Yeah.
So that was great.
Next, in anything else for January that I missed somehow? I mean, there's a lot of games that came out this month, but not really that interesting to talk about.
Not really. I don't think much happened in January.
Yeah, it was a pretty dead month. This is like the month where we're like, Nintendo Direct, please! Nintendo Direct, please! Something!
Yeah.
So, next we had, in February, Little Nightmares 2, which is, again, another one of those ports where I'm like, how is this running on Switch? Because it looks really good from what I've heard, and I heard the Little Nightmare games are pretty good, so... I don't know if you played them or...
I haven't had any experience with the series besides, like, just seeing them pop up in directs over the years.
Yeah, I honestly... the only reason I pointed it out is, again, the port thing, but a cousin of mine really likes this series, so it's just really cool to see on Switch.
Right.
Next was the most important release of this month, which is 3D World. I had a blast with it. It was probably one of the few games that I actually completed this year, 100% all the way through. Bowser's Fury.
Nice.
Yeah, I didn't finish 3D World. I think the only thing I have to do is Champions Road, or that entire world, Crown World, because I don't understand. It's hard, but it's a kid's game, so sorry.
I completed Bowser's Fury. I had an amazing time with it. It really blew my expectations away.
Yeah.
And I've mostly finished 3D World. Like, I don't think I've unlocked the final world, haven't unlocked Champions Road, so I've got a little ways to go, but I just had replayed that game probably 2-3 years ago, so
yeah.
I admit I'm not exactly looking to grind.
Yeah,
right now.
I love 3D Land and 3D World because they're so easy pick up and play type 3D Mario games if you just want a little quick bite-sized experience, and this is way better on the Switch. The only thing that was lacking for me is the amount of change that they made to the base game, because all they did was like make the game a little bit faster and add a dive mechanic. Like, it would have been cool to add maybe like a new character, just one, nothing too crazy, but there wasn't really that much done with the base game. But I think Bowser's Fury really compensated for that. That was a great little bite-sized experience.
And this is one of the ports that we can absolutely say is worth $60.
Yes, for sure, 100%. I just really wish that they did this for like New Soup. Like, it just They did so much good with this game, and they didn't do it for like majority of the other ports. So this is like the example.
They didn't do it for New Super Mario Bros. U because they already had the Luigi U campaign in. That's in their mind. That's 2 games for $60. They think it's worth it.
Here, they already did this, like in 2014 or something. So there's New Super Mario Bros. U, which they released standalone
with Luigi U,
and then they released Luigi U as DLC, and then they released Luigi U as a standalone physical release, and then they released it again in like 2014 with both games together, and they didn't call it Deluxe, and they removed features in the Deluxe port on Switch. There was like some bonus videos or something, and a couple other things in the Wii U version that they cut from the Deluxe. Like, what are you doing?
Trying to streamline it or something. I don't know, but. Overall, 3D World's a great time. If you haven't picked it up yet, give it a shot. It's a great game.
Yeah. It's just, we're almost there. We only need like 2 more 3D Mario games on Switch, but it's never going to happen. So,
yeah.
Like, I want to play Galaxy 2 again, but my sensor bar doesn't work.
Ooh.
Yeah, I tried to play, I bought, I think it was like $115. I bought Twilight Princess on the GameCube, but all I have is a Wii. And my sensor bar doesn't work, so I can't even just open the game.
I saw there was like a trick that you can light like 2 candles next to each side of the Wii, and it works as a sensor bar.
So I tried that, but I looked around the house for candles. All my candles are all different shapes and sizes, so it's just like,
That's fair. You should be able to get one off of like Amazon or eBay for maybe $5-10 though, so nothing insane.
I think I might want to try to get the one you can connect to the Wii and the PC, just so I can, because I have Dolphin, so.
Right.
All right, so.
I think the biggest news of the month was the return of Nintendo Directs.
Yep, and that is probably what got really set up for the year because we finally knew what was going on with Nintendo. We knew what games were coming out, and yeah, do you have anything to say about it? Because I can't remember what was in it.
So I have to talk about it every single episode. This was like my big direct where I'm like, okay, it's 35th anniversary Zelda time. They're finally gonna announce Wind Waker Twilight Princess HD. We got Skyward Sword HD, so I admit I felt a little burned by that. Now I totally understand why they did it. I had a great time replaying it, but I'll talk about that later.
Mm-hmm.
But the February Direct, I saw it for a very strong Direct, but outside of like Splatoon 3 and a couple other small things, it really wasn't for me.
Yeah, and we also got Pyra and Mithra here as well, I think, right? So, yeah, it wasn't like the best Direct, but it was just nice to see that Directs were back. For me, I was like, okay, we're getting back into the swing of things. I didn't really care too much about the majority of things in that Direct other than Skyward Sword HD, which is something that we've been hearing about for years, so it's fine. It's good that we can finally see it, but the only thing that was very disappointing was no Zelda 35, and they're just like, yeah, we don't need it. Like,
talk more about that when we get to E3, but yeah, that Zelda's 35th definitely was a bit of a bummer.
Like, you don't even have to release games, just do like a marketing thing for it. Like, you already have Skyward Sword, just be like, okay, hey, Breath of the Wild 2 is coming out next year, calm down, but here's a bunch of merch. Like, I don't think anyone would care that much.
This might have been a weak Direct in terms of just the ones we got this year. I still think it was a very strong Direct. Just not stuff that I am personally into.
For sure. We also got Persona 5 Strikers that came out. I heard this was a very good game. And finally, Pokemon Presents, which, in this Pokemon Presents, they announced Legends Arceus as well as Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. And in this stage of, it's gotten a lot better for sure, but in this stage, it was rough. Like, literally, the first thing that you saw was chibi characters, and everyone blew their heads off, and then when they saw Legend Arceus, they're like, this is interesting, this is a nice new spin on the Pokemon franchise, but it looks ugly as hell, and what is Pokemon Company doing with this? Yeah, it was a lot of questions and confusion, so.
Now that we are roughly 3-4 weeks from the launch of that title, I am very shocked that it has not been delayed. That was something, the minute that game got a release date, I was thinking to myself, it's getting delayed.
Pokemon doesn't delay. Sorry. It just doesn't happen.
Yeah, I know that, but
regardless of quality.
This kind of felt like their big, new, risky step, so I felt like maybe if it really needed it. But yeah, you're right.
I really hope this game does well. I hope people can just put graphics aside for a moment and see if this game can actually do well, because it has a lot of great ideas in it. So,
right.
All right. So moving on to March, we got Apex Legends, which, again, this is garbage. I can't believe they even tried to release this on Switch. It was horrible.
So I've heard.
I played it a little bit. I had my fill with it. I was pretty fun. It's a pretty good shooter, regardless. But I can't play it on Switch. I'm so glad I have a PC now. But holy crap, that game is awful on Switch. It is awful. Fair. Which, again, needs prudence. Where's our Switch Pro? Oh, we'll get one later this year. Don't worry.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Next, Crash 4. Again, great. This one is actually a great port. I actually haven't got a chance to play it yet, but fuck Activision. Anyway, moving on. Balan Wonderworld. They tried. They really did try. I heard that.
Did you play the demo or anything?
No. I'm not a fan of Knights or Genesis games in general anyway, but there's meaning for me to say this or to point this out as a release because it was god awful, but at least they tried. They really wanted to bring back that Sega type game, and I don't think Square was a good idea for that. In general, I mean, already, and this is back to back. They just came off of Avengers, and I think one of the Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles wasn't that good. Wasn't that good either. So it's just back to back for Square. So it's just sad to see.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Next, we had the release of Pyra and Mithra, which these are fun, actually, surprisingly. I haven't played Xenoblade 2 yet. I own it, but I haven't got to play it yet. But they are incredibly fun.
These characters I was really rooting for, even back during base Smash hype, so seeing that they finally got the invitation, whether it be them or Rex, I was very happy to see Xenoblade 2 get representation.
So my thing is that how the fan base reacted, boobies, like, come on, grow up. That's number one. Number two, this is, again, I don't like to say waste of slot. I usually use that term as a joke. However, with Pyra and Mithra, as well as ARMS, I feel like we could have had a lot more third-party representation if this was in base game. I know that there's reasons why, but I just feel like they would have fit better in base game rather than DLC, but that's just me. They're still great inclusion nonetheless.
I think it would have just been, these were in base game, we're just going to get 2 less characters. I really don't think they were taking somebody else's slot.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, maybe it was Travis. Maybe Travis got the boot.
Oh, I'm so sad about that.
All right. Next up, Mario items came to Animal Crossing New Horizons. This is one of the first updates this year, or after Pyra and Mithra, of course. And I haven't got a chance to try them out yet. I really wanted to because they're actually pretty good, not only aesthetically but mechanically as well with the pipes. So they're pretty fun inclusion. I don't know if you ever got to try them yet.
They're a cool addition, but if you're taking your island seriously at all, unless you have like a very specific Nintendo theme, they just stick out.
Especially when there's a lack of other Nintendo items, which
I am not to like get too far ahead of ourselves. I am amazed that was all we got for Nintendo items in this game.
Mm-hmm. Well, there is a specific wording there. So Animal Crossing is obviously done with updates, but that doesn't mean they can't add like promotional stuff, because they may still do because they did like the Sanrio, that didn't really count as an update, right? Or that wasn't included in an update.
No.
So that was just a promotional thing. So they may still do some other like advertisements in the game, but not any like major updates, because that's done.
Just because they didn't do anything for Zelda, I have very low hopes on that.
For sure.
I could see them maybe collabing with Splatoon again, but given that Mario, Splatoon, and Zelda were like the big features of New Leaf, and even those items didn't come back all the way in New Horizons, I don't think we're getting any more.
The main issue I have with that is it's just a model. All they can do is put models into the new game, make them HD, maybe retexture them a little bit, and it wasn't... I mean, obviously, I don't know game development, so I don't know what the decision was behind that, but I don't know. And again, like you said, it sticks out because it's the only one. So it's just like, if you do one, why didn't you do all of it? Like, you already have them.
Outside of, like, the Wii, the Ring Con they gave in an update, the couple of Nintendo Switches.
They had a Ring Con?
Anything else.
I didn't know they added the Ring Con.
Yeah, it was in one of the updates. You got it as, like, a free item in your mailbox or something.
Oh, I got the Switch Animal Crossing Edition and the Switch Lite, so...
Yeah.
All right.
Outside of those, it's just nothing else.
Yeah, speaking of Mario also died this month. So, rest in peace. He definitely did it.
He was resurrected as Chris Pratt.
Yeah. Oh, God. If you say that. The biggest thing that is tainted from this is the fact that Mario 35, which is not apparently, a decent game. So, for the 99 fans out there. So, that was like the biggest loss. I would say Mario 3D All-Stars. I would say it's Mario 3D All-Stars, but, you know, it's still being sold somehow, some way, even today, 7 months later. So
I will make the argument, though, that them taking away Mario 35 and, like, a week later releasing Pac-Man 99...
Yes, okay.
They're forgiven. They're forgiven.
Yeah, so Pac-Man 99 released on, I don't know when it released, in April, sometime in April. Yeah. So a lot of people say this is the replacement for Mario 35. I think you would say the same. I wouldn't. Because I'm not.
It's just good timing.
Yeah. Didn't Pac-Man tease this? Not Nintendo. I think it was Pac-Man. I think this is Pac-Man's thing, right?
Yeah.
So yeah. Next up is Shantae 1 got a released somehow. I don't know This is the Game Boy Color one, right?
Yeah, they
So
remade it for Switch or something like that.
yeah, I really need to get into the Shantae games. I've been wanting to
Same.
for a while. It's just backlog, you know.
I get that.
All right. Next is new Pokemon Snap released this month as well, and to okay. Everyone thought it was okay. It's for those who were fans of new Pokemon Snap back in the day. They're like, yeah, it was cool to revisit this, but there wasn't really anything like too new about it, other than being new in the name.
Right.
And other than, I guess, maybe Todd Snap returning in HD or whatever. But what is cool to take from, and for me, as a huge fan of the main series, not so much of the spin-offs, this was so boring for me. Like, I gave it away. Like, I didn't even, it was so bad. It was so boring for me.
I enjoyed my time with it, but I only got probably like 2 or 3 hours in before I put it down and I haven't gone back to it. It was a
Yeah.
very fun experience, but I don't know, it just goes too slowly sometimes.
Yeah. Another thing, too, is that this game looks so good, and it's just like,
Beautiful.
Pokemon, I mean, Game Freak, what are you doing? Like, how is Bandai Namco showing you up when they have 40 other games to make at the same
To
time?
be fair, these are more bite-sized experiences. You aren't making an entire world that looks like that. That
True.
being said, Pokemon Company could try a little bit harder, and
Yeah.
they absolutely could, but that might cost them a few $1,000s more.
I mean, now, think about it. They have 3 teams working on Pokemon games. They could easily speed up the development process, because right now, as far as I know, it's just Game Freak on the main, not BDSP.
Yeah.
And they could easily have, Bandai Namco work on the world, and Game Freak work on the story, maybe,
Right.
and then Ilka work on, like, everything else, like UI and stuff, because UI is pretty clean in Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, but they have all these teams, and they could easily get it done in a year if they wanted to, if they use their resources right.
It's the Call of Duty effect, though. Like, they want 3 different teams working on 3 different titles at once, so one can come out every single year. Have we gone a single year besides 2017 where... Well, not even 2017, we had Pokken. Have we had a single year where Pokemon has not had a release?
Since, like, Black and White 2?
No, I'm just talking Switch era.
Oh. No.
I think
Wait.
2020 was the only one, and we
Yeah.
still had Sword and Shield DLC. So technically, not a retail... no, it released in retail.
Did it release in
So-
2020 though?
I'm not sure about the physical package. I know the the DLC did, though.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
either way, we haven't gone a single year in the Switch era without some big
Oh,
Pokemon content coming
we
out.
got a Mystery Dungeon in 2020.
That's it.
Yeah. So,
And I understand it. You want to make money, but you can slow down. The fan base is going to understand. I mean, look at Zelda. If Zelda doesn't come out till the end of this year, next 2022, that'll be almost 6 years between games.
between mainline games, because Zelda releases two games a year, usually, other than maybe
One game a
2020.
year usually.
Okay.
It's usually one game, but even then, we haven't gotten a single new title besides Age of Calamity, and that was not Nintendo that made it.
We also
But
got
you
Cadence DLC too. So
But again, usually between mainline console Zeldas, we get like a new handheld game or something. We have not had that, so we're coming up on 5 years now without a single new Zelda.
we had Link's Awakening.
That's a remake.
Yeah, but it's a handheld Zelda technically.
I'm talking about a new experience.
Oh, okay.
Remasters and stuff are usual, especially since Skyward Sword came out back in 2011, but we have not gotten a new Zelda since Breath of the Wild outside of Age of Calamity.
Yeah, I don't know. Because Pokemon keeps going back and forth about, like, whether or not they want to do spin-offs, because it seems like the Mystery Dungeon series died. It seemed like Rumble series is probably done. And then they just randomly decided to pull new Pokemon Snap out of their ass, so...
They are apparently still sitting on Detective Pikachu 2. They announced that,
Maybe.
I think, 2018 or 2019. I don't know if it's still alive, since apparently they canceled the sequel movie.
Yeah, it's so weird to me, because Detective Pikachu, I didn't even know it released at all during the 3DS era. I didn't find out until
Right.
the movie came out that it was even a game. So not only that, but I heard terrible things about the game. And then somehow they decided to make a movie off of it, which was good. And it was a lot better than what Sonic movie was going to be. So, a lot of high praise there, but then they decided to randomly cancel the second movie and then randomly also announce that they're making a sequel to the game just like out of nowhere when nobody really cared that much about the original one. So it's so weird. It was in
one of their press conferences out of nowhere that they didn't have to say it.
Yeah, it was...
So I don't.
No one's excited for that. No one watched the Poke press conference. I was the only one that live streamed that thing. I did a reaction to it. I was like,
"Yeah,
Pokemon Sleep."
So, I don't know if it's ever going to come out. I don't even know if it's still in development after they can the movie. But it's always a possibility that we could see it this year, next year.
Yeah, and then Pokemon Sleep too. We forgot about that.
I sleep.
All right, May seems to be... Oh, no, we forgot. There's an Indie World in April. Was there anything that stood out on that one?
I don't remember this Indie World at all, to be completely honest with you.
All right, May, we had Miitopia, which I loved the demo, and I bought the game, but I just hadn't had time to actually play the main game. But I really loved it. It was a great game. Don't get me wrong. Just please release Tomodachi Life.
I fell into the same slump that I did with the 3DS release. I picked it up launch day. I had a great time with it for 5+ hours. I made it farther than I did in the 3DS one, but I got to this point, and I just decided to stop, and I haven't been back, and I don't see myself going back.
I really want to go back, though. I bought it, so I have to.
I had a good time with it, and I think that if I could get the motivation to go back, I would want to see it to the end. It is a fun experience.
Yeah. For sure.
But the combat and just stuff, it gets tiring after a while.
It just makes me want old Nintendo back. I watched this video the other day just after, I don't know if it was a video or a tweet or whatever it was, I can't remember, but after Iwata died, it seemed like the charm in Nintendo games is just gone.
I don't completely agree with that, but I don't fully disagree either.
Mario is really sterile now, and I mean it's still great games. They're just, you can tell there's a little bit of sterileness to them, and then especially the Switch UI, it is like a graveyard. It's quiet. It's eerie. It's where's this up-cheer music? Even the Wii U had up-cheery music.
I would make the argument that the games have been better than they have been since the GameCube. I fully agree with that statement. I don't think the Wii U had that many amazing games. It had a strong lineup. Bland.
Okay, that is where we differ. Okay, I do not like any of the GameCube games. Okay, first of all, Wind Waker is okay. It looks better in HD. Number 2, Twilight Princess, horrible graphics. It looks better in the HD remake, but even that is pretty weird looking. That game is too long also. Pikmin. Interesting concept, not for me. Sunshine.
Fair.
I'm the Mario guy, okay? I'm the Mario guy. Sunshine is terrible. One of the worst Mario experiences.
But just the experimentalness, the creativity. This system.
What do you mean, Mario Galaxy?
This system gave us one of the best Smash Bros. Ever. To this day, people will go to bat with that. I disagree.
I disagree with that.
It gave us 2 Zeldas. I know Twilight Princess is considered a Wii game, but it was a GameCube-made game. It was a very strong lineup, and it was quirky.
Super Paper Mario is the definition of quirky. Super Mario Galaxy.
Super Paper Mario is the definition of mediocre.
Whoa! Okay, no, we're done.
I've said this so many times. You know.
I love Super Paper Mario. I had a hard time getting adjusted to the battle system in the original 2 games, so that's yeah. What else?
That's where it falls apart for me. It's a great game with the story. The story and stuff is great. I cannot come to terms. I cannot accept that they decided to turn an RPG into a glorified platformer.
Yeah, that I will agree with, but it's still fun to me.
It is a fun game, but yeah.
Also, Wii Sports is better than any GameCube release ever, and also, I think Brawl is better than Melee. Controls.
I agree with you, but
Melee has weird controls to me, and it's a huge learning curve, and it's full of glitches and stuff. Brawl just has subspace. That's enough for me.
that's fair. All right. Anyways, enough
Sorry.
about GameCube.
I don't like the GameCube, okay? Yes, it's very underrated, but there's not enough goodness in it. And also that statement you said about Wii U, I think the games are where the highlight was. The actual console itself was...
But the problem was it wasn't much of a highlight. Like, Smash 4 was a great game, but it's vastly forgotten now.
Color Splash, great game.
3D World's a good game, but it's not what we wanted at the time. Pikmin 3 is amazing, but nobody bought it. So
No one bought the first two games either.
Xenoblade X is my least favorite Xenoblade game. So Star Fox Zero is mediocre. There is greatness in this lineup.
Star Fox has been mediocre for years, though.
I agree, but it's still part of the lineup.
Sorry. Okay. All right.
That's like when that's like 1/15 of the entire lineup. I have to judge it.
True, I guess. If you're one of those people that has every single Wii U physical release,
there's like Scott the Woz.
There's like one shelf worth.
I've got like 7 Wii U games on my shelf now because I get rid of my Wii U version when the Switch version comes out.
I have gotten rid of most of my Wii U games, but somehow I found out that I found some. Hold on, I'll be right back. Hold on. What?
Oh, I was just telling people to play Pikmin 3.
Oh, I'm probably cutting that out. I don't know what.
No, you better not. You better not.
I don't know what I saw, but I remember finding 2 discs in my Wii U. I'm like, what? When did I get this? Like, yeah, I got rid of most of my Wii U and 3DS games when the Switch came out, and now I'm like, that was a mistake. Right. So, yeah, I mean, I didn't really have that many Wii U games in the first place. I had like Smash 4, Minecraft, Mario Kart, and 3D World as a kid, so I don't know.
Right. Anyways, let's move on from Miitopia.
All right, Game Builder Garage, clearly the Mario Maker killer.
I forgot that came out.
Yeah, I did too. It's fun. It's a great idea. There's too much and also not enough there. It's weirdly limited, but it's also super clunky and not as good as like Mario Maker, like in terms of design. So that's my 2 cents. I didn't buy it.
I didn't either.
Next, something that you probably played a lot, Mario Golf.
This was a game that I was so hoping would just knock it out of the park. But it did not... To go back to the charm, it did not have the same meta charm that the 3DS version did, and I think that is because of the lack of Mario courses. Mm-hmm. And Super Rush's DLC tried to fix that a little bit, but not enough. I got a good 15-20 hours of it. I had an amazing time with the game. I still play it from time to time. But it's still not as good as the 3DS one.
I don't like Mario spin-offs. I said this time and time again. I don't like the sports games, so...
Yeah.
I'm guessing like mid?
If you like the Mario Golf formula, you are going to enjoy the game. The story mode was fun. It was better than Ace's. But I couldn't justify it at $60 if somebody was asking for a recommendation.
Okay, fair enough. Honestly, I don't even... Well, it's Mario, that's why. But most Mario spin-offs to me are not worth $60. Like, only like the RPGs are worth $60. Like, the Mario and Luigi games, they can get pretty long, so they're definitely worth $60. But that's just like a sports package. They don't really deserve to be $60, in my opinion. Anyway,
before we go on to the next title, let's talk about one of the best E3 directs that Nintendo's had in a long time.
I think it was. I thought it was. It's not my direct again. Kazuya was very boring to me, and he also released this month. He was a fun, interesting character, but just I didn't even know who this guy was.
I love my fighting game characters in Smash. I've learned that with Terry. Mm-hmm. So Terry and Kazuya are so much fun to play. I wasn't asking for them, but I'm happy.
My problem was that they really did that twice. Like, did they really have to do 2 fighting characters? Like, they could have at least had more variety. But he's a great character. Obviously, he was. It was going to be included anyway, but it was either Kazuya or the guy from Tails. So one of the two. Lloyd. Yeah.
I think this direct had something for everyone, though. It had a little bit of a look at Breath of the Wild 2. It had Warioware. It had
Mm-hmm.
Metroid Dread. It had a Smash Bros. Character. It had a new Mario Party. It had
Okay,
Advanced
nothing
Wars.
for me. Nothing for me.
That is completely fair, but it had so much for any type of gamer that honestly, it's just really bad luck that they missed you on that one.
Yeah. Wait, when did the OLED get announced? Was that May?
July.
Oh, it's okay. Never mind. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a pretty mid direct to me. The biggest
fair.
thing for me personally was the fact that Metroid was back, and that was the biggest thing as a as a new Metroid fan now because of Dread. But that was like the biggest thing in this direct.
That's fair. But anyways, what was next?
Doki Doki Literature Club.
I want to play it. I have not had time.
I recommend that you probably should play the PC version just because it's, was built for it.
Right.
But I think I did buy it on Switch, so I'm almost there. So I bought a bunch of games for the holidays, so should be able to play some hopefully. All right, Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity DLC. Did you try them out? This is the first release.
The first release, I did play it to completion. It got me back into the game, and it was new content. It was good content. I don't think it was enough to justify the first pass.
Yeah.
The first part of the pass, at least.
Yeah. I'm still working through the first. I started too many games. I need to just play one, finish it, and then move on to the next one because I'm starting too many games. But I have both Hyrule Warriors games, and I bought the DLC for Christmas. But it's just I think the game is just too laggy, and I need to kind of push through that. But I didn't know what I was doing in the is Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity different objective wise
Compared to the original?
Yeah.
Yes and no. It's still the same kind of gameplay, but there's less enemies on the screen at one time, and there's just a little more strategy involved.
So when I was playing through the first game, I was like, what am I I was literally running around in circles. I was like, what am I supposed to be doing?
It's like the game really relies on you learning the combos of each character and learning how to best utilize them.
Mm-hmm.
If you're playing it as a button masher, if you want the story, that's fine. But if you're really trying to get the most out of the game, you need to put in that extra work. And if that's not something you're into, I would just not recommend it.
I mean, no, it wasn't the grindiness of it. It was just more I didn't know what I was doing. They didn't really explain very well what the objective was.
In Age of Calamity are more streamlined. Yes.
Okay, all right. Because it was there's all these little tower things, and then story beats would just randomly start happening, and it was just
And those are still present in Age of Calamity, but they are much more subdued.
Okay, good. All right, so now in July we had Skyward Sword HD, which this is my first time playing through Skyward Sword, and I'm having a great time. Currently, I got mad at the game and I soft locked myself. Somehow well, not soft locked. I can get out of it, but I'm too lazy to. I ran out of Deku seeds, so now I can't get that crystal right above the first mini boss.
Oh.
So and I don't know what's wrong with my Switch, or this is a new Switch even, and it didn't work. I can't do Skyward Strikes. Both my Switch 2 and my Switch OLED, I couldn't do Skyward Strikes. I literally had to switch the button controls in order for it to work, and I can't just play the whole game with button controls because they're weird, to be frank. And
yeah, I agree too.
I want to play this game, and I know this game is great, and I had a lot of fun with the motion controls, but it's just I don't know why I can't do Skyward Strikes. And also, I don't want to go get Deku Seeds because I don't know where they are.
You can buy them in the shop in Skyloft, I think.
Okay.
That requires you to leave the dungeon, go up to the sky. Yeah.
Make sure I have rubies. I don't even know if I have any rupees.
But I will make it very clear that, and everyone who's watched this show should know, that this was not the game I was hoping for.
Yeah.
That being said, I had a great time playing it, but I still firmly believe it is the worst 3D Zelda game. It is a really fun game. I recommend everyone plays it. But it is the weakest Zelda.
Yeah, I will agree. I think even if they retroactively added new controls, not just button motion controls, whatever they decided to do here, even if they just added regular Zelda controls, even then, even though the game's mainly based around it, but even then, the story, it goes on for too long. It has like a Dream Team effect where they have this extra, like, because, okay, usually in Zelda games you have the 3 MacGuffins and then you have like 3 more MacGuffins after that. That's okay. But this game had like 3 MacGuffins and then 3 MacGuffins and then 3 MacGuffins and then 3 MacGuffins, and it would not stop.
Know when to wrap it up.
Yeah. And it's not to mention that it's long linear like gameplay. Like, dungeons are not short in this game. They're very long. So it is not a bite-sized experience. Yeah, okay.
I wouldn't say they're the best in the series. I do think that title still goes to Twilight Princess. Of course, that's up for debate amongst everyone.
I haven't played it yet, but those dungeons are really long. They're like boringly long.
They're long, but they are very strong, and they really stick to their theming.
True.
But anyways, hopefully those come out in 2022.
Yeah,
but
maybe.
We'll see. Yeah.
Hopefully they justify my $115 purchase of GameCube version. All right, Pokemon Unite also came out, and I had a lot of fun with this. This is a pretty good. This is my first MOBA. I don't really like League. It's fun, but just not my type of game. I wouldn't grind it out. I pretty much played it for one video and tapped out. But it's fun. It's a nice little thing that I tried.
Clearly, I'm the biggest Pokemon fan ever, so
yeah.
Obviously, I didn't.
Yeah, isn't that a Pokemon in the back there? The guy with the leaf on his face. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no, that's from Call of Duty.
Oh, right. It's the shopkeeper. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, moving on to August, we had the No More Heroes 3 release, which I need to play. I really need to play this series. This is I've watched someone play it, your pal Ral, and yeah, it's great. It's a wonderful game, charming. I just need to play it.
Yeah. I haven't picked it up. It's on my list at some point. Probably no time soon.
I think I just downloaded the first game, but yeah, we'll see. But I think this is definitely a game. I think it might be on other consoles as well, but this is definitely the game that you play on Wii or Switch because of the motion controls. What other game lets you jack off the controller as the main gameplay?
That way, I'm sold.
I mean, you have 1-2 Switch, right? I don't even have. I never bought 1-2 Switch.
You milk the cows.
Yeah, I've never got 1-2 Switch. I like that game. I had a lot of fun. It's a nice little tech demo of the Switch, but I never got it. Surprisingly,
I was the moron that bought it because I wanted something else to play.
There was nothing to play at launch other than Breath of the Wild. Like, there was nothing. So
between like Breath of the Wild and Mario Kart, there was really nothing until ARMS.
Yeah.
In June.
All right, next up is the Mario Golf update, which, take it away, do you know what was included in that?
I believe that one was the Odyssey update?
Yeah, and Toadette, right? Was Toadette added in there? Okay, yeah.
They added Toadette, they added the Mario Odyssey stage. It was a fun stage. It's a little too gimmicky for my liking, but it did inch a little closer into that wacky Mario territory that I was asking for. That's all I can say, really. It's
so weird. Usually they release like a mainline 3D or 2D title, and then all the spin-offs sort of like play off of that. Like, I think there's a couple other spin-offs that had like some like Mario 2, New Super 2 stuff in it, and it seems like we're still in the Odyssey era, which I just feel like we've been in the Odyssey era for so long.
Well, it's honestly surprising how long it's been since the last 3D Mario. Like,
yeah.
It's nearing 5 years, and they haven't even teased the next one.
Yeah, I think obviously it sounds like they're focusing on the movie, but it's just been so long. We've been hearing about this movie for years, so it's just been a long time.
We'll go more into detail on this in our 2022 predictions next time, but it doesn't make sense to me right now.
Next up is another indie world, and I don't think there was anything that stood out here either.
I think this is the one that dropped like Axiom Verge 2. Verge 2. It was an overall good indie world. I think they announced Tetris Effect in this one too.
Oh yeah.
So it was a good one, a little memorable, but I don't have too much to say about indie worlds really ever.
Yeah. And obviously there's another Pokemon Presents here, which I think it was just updates on most of the stuff. I think some more Pokemon 25 stuff, and yeah. Obviously, Pokemon has a better anniversary than Zelda. It just makes sense.
They went so hard on Mario's that they needed a year-long nap. So Zelda had to take the backseat this time.
It's clearly you don't want Katy Perry singing a Zelda song.
We're really missing out here.
All right, and I think that was it for August. So moving on to September, we had another example of just why did this happen? Sonic Colors released to a flashbang in your face, like literally. I'm not a Sonic guy. I'm known as the Sonic hater on Twitter, but this is just sad. I don't know what happened. How did this happen?
It's embarrassing because obviously it was worse on Switch, but even the Xbox and the PlayStation were having a ton of bugs.
Yeah, it was weird. Yeah. Next up is Warioware. I haven't got a chance to play it yet. I've never been a huge Warioware guy. I am more of a fan of the LAN games, but what about you?
It was a really fun release. I still pull it out once in a while as a party game. The campaign was really short, but I really think the together gimmick, the multiplayer and stuff like that was really good for WarioWare. It was a lot of fun, but it's kind of the same issue I'm having with a lot of their games this year. I'm not sure if it was worth the full MSRP.
Yeah, I agree.
Like it kind of feels like a $40 to $50 game rather than a $60 one.
It actually continuing in that line. I was thinking about, where do they go next after they did like a top 100 Mega Micro or whatever they did for the 3DS release, but
the All-Star one or whatever it was.
Pretty much every console they have some sort of interesting gimmick. The original one had Twisted, I think, and the DS had DIY and all these like interesting gimmicks based on the console. And this is like literally perfect for the Switch. It was like a Double Dash-esque mode with split Joy-Con action, which is what the Nintendo Switch hasn't had one of those Nintendo Switch-like games in quite some time, really. So,
right.
If that makes any sense.
It was a good time.
Next up is Deltarune, which I was very excited for. This game was amazing. I haven't really played Undertale either. I own all of it, but I've seen it, obviously, because it's all over the internet. Jacksepticeye played it, so I watched his playthrough, and it's great. It's another great Toby Fox game. He never disappoints, unlike Scott Cawthon. Sorry? Bad joke.
Yeah.
All right.
Go for it.
All right. And then in September, we also got another Nintendo Direct, which was very controversial. This was at the time where I'm like, okay, I think we're good on 2021 in terms of like announcements, but there's actually a couple of good things in here too. I was just kind of like, okay, I think we're done here. And Nintendo's like kept pushing in their marketing that, oh, it's only 2021 games, when clearly it was mainly focused on 2022, because did we really need any more releases in 2020? Or 2021? So this is the one where we got NSO expansion pass. We didn't know the price yet, but I think we're all at least decently excited enough for N64 and Sega Genesis, which was a complete curveball. So I think we also got the announcement of announcements with the Animal Crossing Direct and the Smash Direct later in the next month. And I don't know what else was here that was significant. They
announced Kirby and the Forgotten Land, I want to say what it's called.
Yes, yeah. So I'm really excited for that. This
was a strong Direct. They didn't announce a ton of stuff besides like Kirby. They showed off more Splatoon 3. It was a good Direct, but you could tell their main focus was showing off Bayonetta 3.
Yeah.
And the Mario movie.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I forgot about that too.
Yeah, that was where they.
The cast is actually half.
The casting.
The cast is half good, half bad. Chris Pratt, just what the fuck? Like, why? It's funny, but why? Like, even if he does a Brooklyn accent, like, why? Why? Regardless of his controversies.
Before I judge.
Yeah, it's just a why. But all the other characters, I think Anya Taylor-Joy might be a good casting. Jack Black for sure. Charlie Day again for sure. Great castings, and except just
Seth Rogen though.
Maybe I can see that. I like Seth Rogen, so I think that might be a good thing.
I'm hoping.
The one thing I don't like at all is Keegan-Michael Key as Toad. Like, I would have been okay with if they just made Toads the new Minions. Like, that's okay.
Right.
But
Right.
Just a funny black dude. Like, I don't think Toad is a funny black dude. like what? I'm sorry. Like,
I really genuinely can't wait to see when this trailer comes out because I have so many questions that need answering.
Like everything else is like okay. I don't know what's his name. That's Cranky Kong. I don't really know too much about him. I think he was on SNL at some point, but I don't really know too much about him. But generally, the cast is like okay. It's just like I can't wait for this to be be successful, but be just so utterly horrible. I really want it to be terrible.
I am optimistic that it's going to be at least okay.
Yeah.
Because Miyamoto has been backing this project so hard, and he is so picky when it comes to Mario that I don't think he'd let it out unless it was the absolute best that he thinks it can be.
And this is also the first, like, multimedia property that we've had, because they're like, oh, Zelda leaked? Nah, we're not doing that anymore. Star Fox leaked? We didn't really want to do it anyway. Yeah, so I really hope this means something. It's just...
I think so.
We've just been talking about this for so long. Like, I just want to see a trailer, and I want to go. I want to go to Super Nintendo World, but I can't.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty sure it's done in California. I'm pretty sure it's done. They just haven't opened it yet. Like, my dad went to Universal a couple weeks, or for his birthday in October, and... He saw it, like he took like a picture of it, and it's done. It's like literally done. There might be some electronic issues or electronic things going on, but I just want to go.
I really wonder though if they're gonna show a trailer for the Mario movie in one of the directs.
Ooh, I don't.
I don't want it to be that way because I kind of think it just takes away from the game announcements.
Yeah,
but
I think that'll be an Illumination thing. It's okay. Here's what I think is going to happen. Either we're going to get a Mario Day Direct, which could happen, which is could just not like a really big thing, just like okay, here's a movie thing, and here's like maybe like a spin-off, or maybe the new DK game gets announced here, or Illumination releases the trailer like the day before a Nintendo Direct, and then at the very end of the Nintendo Direct, if they don't have like a one more thing type of thing, they'll just put that at the end.
Well, now that you mentioned it, I really think it could be possible that they just drop the trailer on Mario Day. No lead up, besides like maybe teasing it a day before. No Direct. I think at least the teaser or something.
Yeah, for sure.
But it comes out in the next 365 days. Yeah. Let's see how it turns out.
Please, I want to see a trailer pretty soon. All right. Anything else with that Direct other than?
No, it was a strong Direct, but
we'll talk more about something in that Direct a little bit later. There's also the final Mario Golf update, or did we talk about that?
No, there was another one a few weeks ago, I think. But
okay, so it was
I think Ninja and Koopa Troopa were added to this one, and a snow course and a desert course.
Okay.
This was kind of the time when I fell off it. I tried the courses, but I have no opinion of them.
Yeah. All right. So now, how much time do you have left? Are you running low?
About an hour.
Okay. All right. So next up is the beefiest month of the year. We got Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl, which is clearly the smash killer as well.
Yes.
This was a decent release. The controls are a little off for me. The amount of potential that this game could have, especially with the legacy of Nicktoons games of old, it just didn't hit the mark for me. Too many there's not enough distribution of like characters here in terms of like era. Like there's like 90s Turtles, which is like okay, cool for those 90s Turtles fans, but this is like Nicktoons, and Nicktoons kind of like is 2012 Ninja Turtles, and I don't think anyone wants them, but also we don't have like a whole lot of 90s, actual Nicktoons 90s characters, and we have too many modern characters. It's like, it's not really balanced in that way. And again, it's just so much potential, but a disappointing release, in my opinion.
They didn't give it a big enough budget, and I can't blame them because it was a smaller studio, but it is disappointing.
And I have full potential, or I have full potential. I have a lot of hope for that studio. It's just Nickelodeon, just like, this will just be a quick buck. Like, we don't really need games anymore. Like, they just seem like
Pretty
they don't
much.
care about games anymore. I feel like Activision and Purple Lamp, I think it's called, that did the SpongeBob remake. They're like, please people want these games. Let's make another one. And they're like, okay, we don't need games, but yeah, go ahead, do your little thing.
Yeah, I was actually very surprised to see that they announced this next SpongeBob game.
Yeah. I don't remember when that was. That's why I didn't include it, because this is mainly Nintendo stuff.
I want to say it was September as well, so I think we're in the right ballpark.
Okay. Next up is obviously the biggest game of the year, Metroid Dread. And, hoo boy, I think everyone has said enough about this game. It's phenomenal. It's a great return to form. It looks great on the OLED. And also, same day, the beautiful looking Nintendo Switch OLED released. And yeah, it is quite beautiful, to say the least.
I hate you. I want one.
The screen is just so much better. I cannot go back to the other Switch. I've been playing it a lot in tabletop mode with Mario Galaxy. Have been having a lot of fun with that, but again, I'm still having gyro issues. This is a brand new console, and I'm having gyro issues. Like, it's not picking up my spins, and it's like the shine, or the whatever, the star, the pointer is like glitching out everywhere. It's weird. I don't know why. This is a brand new console, but the same thing happened with my other Switch, so it might just be like a Bluetooth thing, because I have a lot of shit over here. So, but no, great console. The game Metroid Dread works perfectly on it with the dark tones. The music is a lot to be desired, but the only thing that I will say about it is that this isn't the best game for newcomers to hop in on. As a newcomer myself, and as someone who's played literally 2 seconds of the original Metroid because it was hard as balls and I hated it, it's a great game, but I think I need to play the other games first, especially the Game Boy games, because they're a little bit easier to get into.
I would honestly not recommend that you go back to the older Metroid games. I would say try Ori. Try Hollow Knight. Ori and the Blind Forest and Ori and the Will of the Wisps.
See,
those are great entry points.
I liked Dread, and I enjoyed it, and I made it most all the way to Kraid. And again, I haven't gone back, and I was having a hard time with Kraid, so I took a break. I didn't like Hollow Knight. The world was too big. It was confusing. It was maze-like.
I feel the same way about Hollow Knight. Ori is so good.
Ori is a Metroidvania? I didn't know that. I thought it was just a platformer.
Ori is a Metroidvania, and it's very strong. It's a lot easier to understand. It's a lot easier to traverse. It's that perfect balance between way too difficult and way too easy.
Mm-hmm.
I would absolutely recommend giving at least the first Ori game a shot.
Okay.
To see if the genre is right for you.
Okay. Yeah, I had a great time. It's just it's really hard, even on easy. So.
It took me, the final boss, I'm not going to spoil it, but it took me literally like 5 or 6 hours of trying to get it.
Do you think this means Metroid's back? Like, we should probably see
100%.
Metroid 6 on the next console, probably.
With how strong this game has performed, at least from what I've heard, I really think, and I think Prime 4 is going to really sell well, and if they do a collection of the Prime trilogy or that rumored remake of 1, I think Metroid's back. I think they're finally gonna start getting that steam again. It's not gonna be a huge IP like Splatoon, Mario, Zelda, Smash, but it's gonna be one of their mainstays.
Okay, good. I'm glad to see Metroid back. So.
Me too.
Literally, pretty much post Other M and Brawl, it's pretty much just been fan service, and that both literal and the other kind of fan service. So. Yeah. Anyway, 2 animal games came out this month also, one being Monkey You Put in Ball, and Peppa Pig. Clearly, Peppa Pig was the game of the year.
Yeah, that was the one I actually picked up. I had a great time with it. I spent 20 hours into it. The narrative was fantastic.
I know how to count now.
I can't believe...
What does... Is that game just...
choice Peppa had to make at the end of the game.
I think she... As a educational kid character, she has to save everybody and has to save all her friends. So Lucina being the final boss, I mean, her pride is so strong, but
It was
Peppa
cool, the
Pig
secret, like, end
had to
credit
kill
scene
her.
where Peppa
Yeah.
meets Mr. Sakurai and he hands her the invitation. But no, to get perfectly honest, Monkey Ball was really good. I haven't played it as much as I wish I could have, but it was a strong release. It's a bunch of content. The price, I think it was $40. So the price was well justified, and it's a fun little strategy. I think it's a strategy game.
I want to get into it. I've always loved these kinds of games, like the SpongeBob one. And it's just the only thing is that this is a perfect entry point, I think, for new Monkey Ball fans, and I don't know what the future of the series looks like, unfortunately, because it's kind of hit or miss.
Right.
But as for returning fans, from what I've heard, is that the physics are a little weird, but it's great to see it come back, is what I've heard.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. I didn't notice, but it seems like the physics are a little different than the original games.
Next up is Mario Party Superstars. I'm taking that to you because I don't like Mario Party.
I haven't gotten to play it as much as I wish I had, but the boards are stellar. They really pick some of the best minigames in the series. Mario Party is back.
Yeah.
Super Mario Party was trying to get over there. It still missed a lot of things. This is what I want to see in the future with new content, because this is all old content.
Yeah.
But if they can keep this mechanics, this kind of format going into a new title, Mario Party's back.
You know, we're starting to get into that era. I heard about this. Oh man, I missed the car. That was so cool.
I don't know. No. I have never heard a single person ever say that. And
all these kids that grow up with 9, 10, 11, or 9. Yeah. Wait, was there an 11 or is that Super?
That is Super.
Okay. All these kids that grew up with 9 and 10. Oh man, I missed the car.
All 5 of them?
Yeah. Jet?
9 came out like right before the Wii U came out, and 10 was on the Wii U. Nobody bought 10.
My other, Jet, right? He loves 10. He loves 10. He like forced me to play the Bowser mode, and I'm like, I hate this. This is so unfair. There's no balance.
Yeah, no, none whatsoever.
All right, next up was the Animal Crossing Direct, which bring great new life back into the series, but a little too late. It introduced a ton of stuff that should have been there in base game, and a great DLC that a lot of the stuff is new, bringing it to main series at least, because a lot of this customization stuff was available in Happy Home Designer, but now having it be connected to New Horizons, I think is a great decision, not being a separate spin-off game, and I still haven't got a chance to play it. I really want to.
When the DLC and the game came out, when the update came out, I restarted my island. I started from scratch. I got probably a month and a half, 2 months back, 50, 60 more hours of playtime. I did fall back off of it, and that's not because of the DLC, the updates and stuff being bad, because they are very strong additions, a ton of great stuff, but it should have been there since launch.
Yeah.
But as a whole, I am very happy with where Animal Crossing New Horizons is as its own title and with the DLC.
All right. This is also the Direct where we got the announcement that Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack is 20% more than the original price, which is just what the fuck? Like, we thought, at the most $10, and then we're just like, what? Why?
That's the problem, and I've been saying this for months. They should not be incorporating DLC into their online service.
Oh.
I don't care if Animal Crossing is one of their best-selling games on the system. You are expecting people to just deal with that $25 price mark. I think they did it to sweeten the deal, but there's no reason why N64 and Genesis games could have been $35, $40 a year max. Adding in the Animal Crossing stuff just muddies the water. But I think it just caused them really bad PR, which they weren't expecting.
I think it's a lot more than just Animal Crossing. I think we're going to see more this year. I think there's going to be more entices, because they can't just end it like that. That's a little weird, especially because of how bad the PR was. It's just like, they can't just end it like that. That's
What
weird.
I'm saying is they shouldn't have launched it with very little N64 games, a bit more Genesis games, and Animal Crossing, and expected people to fork over $30, especially when I want to say 60 to 70% of people probably
Fair.
did not go back to Animal Crossing when the update came out.
Fair. I just bought the DLC. I didn't even... I got the expansion pack too, but I just bought the DLC because might as well.
My mentality was, as of right now, when I paid that $50, I was into Animal Crossing, so I saw the value. But you come back to me again October, November of this year and ask me for $50 more and nothing's changed, I'm going to look at you and be like, I'm not playing Animal Crossing. Why would I do that?
I'm not playing the games you're giving to me.
Well, it's not even that.
I'm joking. Yeah,
it's arbitrary. It's arbitrary DLC that
fair.
A lot of people don't want.
That's fair. That's why I'm hoping that maybe like we'll get more DLC as included with this, and hopefully more virtual console or classic console stuff. So.
Well, the other problem with this is you can't assume every single person that buys the online expansion pass has Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
So then you're also asking them to pay $60 to buy that game.
Mm-hmm. But
it's just really interesting decision on their end.
All right. Next that came out was Hyrule Warriors, the final DLC. Did you play this at all?
It came out when I was at the point where I really wasn't playing a lot of games outside of like Animal Crossing. I did pick it up. I've probably put in 2.5 hours of it. It's good. I haven't gotten to try out the new characters yet. The new levels are cool, though. The new story stuff is cool, but I have not played enough of it to say whether or not this plus Pack 1 as a whole is worth the $20.
All right, fair enough. And next, the best thing that came out of this month, and the thing that we were wondering, why is there 6 characters in this pack and not 5? And it's because they weren't sure if this character was going to be set in stone or not, but here it is. Sora Kingdom Hearts has finally made his way into Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, being the final DLC character, and on top of that, being the most requested character in the fighter ballot, which, holy shit, yes, thank you, Sakurai. Yes, thank you. This is a great character.
I've made it very clear the entire year, I don't care how it ends. I got Banjo, I got K. Rool, I got Inkling, I got everyone I wanted in this game. But I am so happy it ended on a third-party character.
Yes.
So happy
oh my gosh.
Sora.
If it ended on Pokemon, like, that would be it. Nope. Everyone would be probably burning their Smash Ultimate copies. Like, yeah, like, and I'm also another thing, how wholesome it ended as well, which is very surprising for the Smash community. Everyone's like, thank you, Sakurai, this is the best ending ever. I've only heard like 2 people say, "Oh fuck Sora," like
exactly.
So
usually we walk out of the final Smash announcement. Half the people are happy, half the people are pissed. We didn't have that here, and for Sakurai's sake, especially, I am so happy of that.
Yeah, it was just a phenomenal end to Smash, and he's a great character to play as well.
Absolutely.
So, all right, moving on to November because we kind of have to go quick here. GTA the Trilogy released again with a shitty quality. I don't understand what's going on with the gaming industry. Another horrible game according to some people. Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. I had a great time with this game. I had a lot of fun. I haven't beat the champion yet because she's piss hard. But very fun game. I've never played the original games, but if you already have played the original games, this is not the game for you. Do not invest in this game unless you're, waning on nostalgia. Then maybe, but if you've already played this game, you played the remakes. So
right.
Animal Crossing New Horizons DLC release. We talked about this already. It was a great inclusion. Too little, too late. And then the final Mario Golf update.
It was like 2 more courses and 2 more characters. I couldn't tell you who they are or what the courses were. I haven't.
Wiggler, I think, and Shy Guy maybe.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And then the courses was like the Mario 3 art thing in the sky.
The courses look good, but I haven't had the time to go back. I want to, but now's not the time for me.
Yep. And then we also got the release of the Mario Kart update for Mario Kart Live, which is like, okay, sure. It added new courses and new cups, which doesn't mean anything to me. Like, I'm gonna probably get them just to have like the characters, but I don't have any room in my house to play. I'm not a child. I mean, I wish I could be, but this is not my demographic, unfortunately. I just want a new mainline Mario Kart.
Fair. I do too. I don't know why we haven't gotten one yet.
Yeah. All right, so finally in November we got SMT5, which I've heard is a great game. Brings new life into the SMT series, which is the main series, which not many people know, of Persona, which is the more popular for some reason. So, and finally, December, we got the best games all year, baby. First, obviously, we had the Game Awards, which was Nintendo had nothing, absolutely nothing.
They literally just showed like a brief new clip of Monster Hunter Sunbreak, and
yeah,
that's it.
But at least Metroid won Best Action Adventure, or yeah.
Hey, they did remind us in the commercials that Nintendo Switch has games.
Yeah, I forgot about that. And we also got the trailer for Sonic Frontiers, as well as the new Sonic movie, which has a lot more potential than the Mario movie currently.
I agree.
Although a lot of people say that Idris Elba has the perfect voice for Knuckles, I'm not inclined to agree. Literally, the first thing that he said, I'm like, oh no, this sounds weird. Like, this is not Knuckles.
I'm gonna have to either see another trailer or I'm gonna have to watch the movie to make a judgment.
Yeah.
But so far, I'm on the same side as you. I think it's a little too deep.
And as soon as I saw the Sonic Frontiers trailer, I was just like, this is not real.
I really hope it is just like that, but I don't have the confidence with the Sonic team.
It's releasing on Switch. It's releasing on Switch. It does not look like this on Switch.
It won't look like that on Switch. You know they're showing next-gen gameplay. Well, gameplay.
I'm like, this can't be real. I don't have enough trust in Sonic Team. So
I don't blame you.
Anyway, next up we had the release of Big Brain Academy, Brain vs. Brain. Again, another one of those classic Nintendo releases of like times of old, but I just wish there was more of it.
About it.
Yeah.
I saw it for like half off on Best Buy like 2 weeks after it came out, and I still didn't pick it up.
But do you need to? Like, no. It's just an education game, which I'm glad that we have back, like the whole Brain Age, Big Brain, all this like quirky stuff from the DS era finally back, but it's just not enough. Next up is Danganronpa, which I still haven't picked up, but I really want to play this series a lot.
Same.
And I'm glad it's finally on Switch because I've been begging for it for a while, so I'm glad it's here. Next up is Paper Mario, releasing on NSO. Which, did you try Paper Mario out, and did you break the game?
I have, besides like dabbling in a little tiny bit of Ocarina of Time, I have not touched the N64 NSO games. That'll change when Banjo comes out, but right now, I haven't really had the time. I have 3D All-Stars. I think that's better for 64 at least, but I plan on playing Ocarina soon-ish, so I'm probably going to be using the NSO version, because I don't have an N64, so... Right.
I plan on playing it for a series. Shh, don't tell anybody. It's a secret. Next up is... Oh, well, I guess we should say... What is going on with that? It feels like NSO keeps getting worse and worse. I mean, the emulation quality, at least. Like, Sega games seems like they're doing fine, but N64 in particular, like, the whole fog glitch, there's now literal, like, what's it called? Crashes within, but these are emulators. How is that happening? It doesn't make any sense.
They aren't spending enough time on them. They're just pushing them out the door, it feels like, and it's really disappointing.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Another thing too, why isn't reverse functionality in this? It's so weird. Like, why? I don't know what's going on there. It's very confusing.
That would require actual work.
It doesn't though. That's the thing.
According to Nintendo, it does.
Alright, so next up, and the final thing, was a brand new indie world at the end of the year, which announced a game I've been trying to say, please come to Switch, Omori. Which, yes, thank you, it's a great game, please play it. And I'm finally going to get to play it for the first time on Switch whenever it comes out. So.
Nice. Alright, that was 2021.
Yeah, woo!
Oh, that was a long year.
But We still haven't talked about how wrong we were.
So do we want to just like each rapid fire our predictions?
I don't even know which one was which.
I'm just gonna really quickly. I have my list that I posted on my Twitter towards the end of 2020 that was my basis of everything I talked about in 2021.
Mm-hmm.
So for the new titles that I predicted we were going to see a new Mario Golf. I got that right. I predicted we were going to see a 2D Metroid. Got that right.
What did you? Did you say 2D
Yes,
Metroid or 2D Mercury Steam?
I said 2D Metroid. I did not mention Mercury Steam in my predictions, but I mentioned it in the video. I mentioned Super Mario Party 2. Half right.
Yeah.
Like we got a new Mario Party. It was not
That's
Super
right.
Mario Party. I predicted Gen 4 Remake. Everyone predicted
Yeah,
that.
everyone predicted that.
I predicted... Okay, the things that I got wrong. Okay, half right. I predicted a 3D Kirby for this year. That did not happen. It's coming out sometime in 2022.
But at least we got the announcement. That's half right, yeah.
I predicted the Zelda ports, Wind Waker and Twilight Princess.
You got some kind of port. You got some kind of thing.
I did. I got Skyward Sword. I predicted the Detective Pikachu sequel to come out this year. Did not happen. I predicted Bayonetta 3, Breath of the Wild 2, and the next Monolith title would release in 2021.
No.
Wrong and wrong.
But it's also happening next year, so put it on your 2022 list.
We don't know about Monolith right now. I'm confident because
It's
of
Xenoblade 3. It's
throughout the
happening.
year.
Yeah, it's happening.
So, yeah. And for Smash reveals, I thought we were going to get Rex, Crash, and Dante. I got like half of one right.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I'm still
surprised.
Besides the fact that Nintendo Directs were to come back, but
I'm still
overall,
surprised.
A strong year.
I'm still surprised it wasn't Crash. Honestly, like
with what happened with Activision over the year, I am definitely not upset it wasn't Crash.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I'm also surprised it wasn't a Pokemon, but I'm also glad it wasn't a Pokemon because it could have easily happened. And then Waluigi was just a throwaway. So, I think we predicted that E3 wasn't dead, so that's great.
Yes.
And I thought there was going to be Prime, but there's no Prime. But
there was not a single drop of Prime, even though you thought we'd be playing Prime 4 right now.
I probably wouldn't be, but it was either one or the other. But I really hope 2022 is the year of like 2017 too, but also games that we were promised since 2017 too. You
were also pretty on the side of us getting Samus in Fortnite.
Yeah, I wanted that to happen, but then with the whole Apple thing, that was...
Yeah, we actually saw that it was something that was being considered, so half right?
Considered isn't in the game.
And they considered it.
It didn't get me to play Fortnite, so...
Yeah. Honestly, our predictions weren't that far off, outside of just being a little iffy on Directs coming back, whether or not E3 was going to be alive or not. We had me especially, was a little too hopeful for Zelda's anniversary.
Yeah. And I think next year, now that we sort of know that we're doing, and we're finally on Season 2, I don't really want to call it Season 2, we know what we're doing here, and we also know what Nintendo's doing sort of now, because this past year was sort of unknown. Like, we didn't know how bad the pandemic was going to get, and we didn't know if Nintendo Directs were going to return, and we also didn't know anything. So now that we sort of know that what we're doing, hopefully we're more accurate next year.
After looking at my prediction calendar, I'm very confident in just what's going to come out in 2022, just because of the stuff that's confirmed, not even the stuff that I'm predicting myself. There's a crap ton of stuff coming out in 2022, and I'm going to say it in the prediction video. I really think this could top 2017, and I think I'll be right this time.
Yeah. All right, so after that, just picking up somewhere here, what is your game of the year? Let's just say, what's your top 3 games of the year? We'll have you do it first, and then I'll go.
So, can we count remasters, re-releases?
It depends. So, like, if it was a port, nothing changed, then no. But
okay.
Skyward Sword HT would definitely count in my book.
I am actually going to give that honor to Bowser's Fury for number 3.
Okay,
That was a great experience.
I'd say for me personally, I know that's not true for everybody, but Bowser's Fury is, well, I mean, one, it would count, but two, I think Bowser's Fury is its own separate thing for sure.
And I agree, but it is like connected to 3D World. But
Yeah.
yeah, that was such a fun experience. I wish it was longer, but it gives me hope for the future of 3D Mario.
Mm-hmm.
My number 2 is Mario Party Superstars. I had a fantastic time with it. It's the return to form that I want in Mario Party, and it gives me hope for a hopefully future new installment.
Mm-hmm.
Number 1 should shock nobody. Metroid Dread.
Yeah.
I really wasn't a Metroid fan before Dread, but that game was so well paced, really difficult. I had a great time with it.
Fair. I'm surprised Mario Golf is not on there because that's what you were really hyping for this year, and also. Wait, was that was this year, right? It came out this year? Yeah, okay.
It came out in June, yes.
Yeah, and then I'm also surprised that it's not Pikmin Bloom. What do you mean? That's your game of the year.
I played it for like 2 weeks, and I got bored of it and dropped it. I know, take away my Pikmin fan badge.
Yeah. All right. So as for me, a little bit of I'm actually going to be a little bit different here, and say that my number 3 is, I didn't write this down, so sorry. I would say it's definitely Skyward Sword. I've never played it before, so it was nice improvements. I haven't finished it yet, but that's why it's my number 3. So it may be better, but I know that there's a long road ahead of me, so I'm not really sure.
The strongest, worst 3D Zelda ever.
Yeah, for sure. As for my number 2, it has to go with Metroid Dread. Now, it's a great game, don't get me wrong. It's just, and I had a lot of fun with it, and I'm still having fun with it because I'm not done with that yet either. But the reason why I'm putting this as number 2 is because there were at times where I felt that that game got tedious and I wasn't having fun like all the way through, although it was a good time. And also the music just didn't do it for me.
Yeah.
Even though Metroid music, yeah, Metroid music is usually phenomenal, and this didn't hit it. But my number 1, no surprise either, was Pokemon Brilliant. No, I'm just kidding. Bowser's Fury. That was a phenomenal micro experience. I really wish it was longer than it was, but this is the one game that I had pretty much fun through and through throughout the year. It definitely, I mean, it may not be in my top 10 games of all time, but it's definitely my game of the year this year, just because it was the only game that I pretty much had a fun time all the way through, and I just can't wait. It was the first time in a while where I was just like, I can't wait to pick it up again and keep playing. But I think I did it in one night anyway. Like I'm still thinking about that game to this day. Like I want to do a replay of it eventually. But it's one of the few games that had done that, because it's a nice bite-sized micro experience that you can just pick up and play, which I loved about it. So
looking past Bowser's Fury 2, it's so great to see people finally recognize 3D World as a really strong 3D Mario.
It's not the best, but it's definitely, it should be regarded as one of the greater ones.
It came out at the wrong time. I think if it came out after we got like a return to form 3D Mario like Odyssey, maybe it would have been taken better.
That's hard to say, because 3D Land was almost perfect for the 3DS, but also people didn't like that even when 3D Land was a thing. People liked 3D Land, but they didn't like the fact it was linear, and so that I don't know. It's hard to say.
It was just really bad time because Wii U already kind of felt like it was lacking that excitement, and then to see the big 3D Mario of the generation would become a sequel to a handheld game.
Yeah.
Kind of pissed people off, for lack of a better expression.
I was still holding on. Ever since Galaxy 2 released, I was still like praying and hoping we would get Super Mario Universe, because that would be almost perfect with the Wii U. So, but it didn't happen. So, oh my god.
Yeah. But Nintendo had a pretty good year this year. All three or four of the games we mentioned, very strong.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that covers everything. So
I think so.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And thank you for a great 2021. And we already are in 2022.
Yes.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye, guys.